Okay, well, welcome to Let's Talk About Grief here with Darren and myself. So let's go. What are we going to be talking about today about grief?
So today, let's talk about how all wounds are not meant to be healed.
Okay.
So I think it's a myth that we believe that all the wounds that we suffered are meant to be healed. As like that's an end goal,
Uh-huh.
and some things are not meant to be cured; they're meant to be carried.
Mm. Okay. So
So
elaborate, because I'm trying to wrap my mind around this.
so they'll tell us everything that happened to us becomes a part of us,
Right.
and then they'll tell us that we need to heal from that or we need to cure that.
Mm-hmm.
And everything is not curable, I don't believe. And we've discovered that over the last 3 years talking to each other that the things that happen to you are not necessarily curable.
Right.
But we can learn how to carry them differently so they're not as heavy,
Okay.
right? And so that we can grow through them. So I think it's an expectation that we put on ourselves that creates more confusion and chaos than it needs to be.
Okay.
And if you ever get to a point where you can feel cured from it, fine. But to initially put that pressure on yourself, I believe it's counterproductive.
Right. Okay. I get it. So
And
what I'm hearing you saying is that my trauma is part of me. I can't, it's not meant, all of it is not to be cured. So how do I decipher what should be cured and what should not, and what not to be cured?
naturally, the things that could be cured will eventually cure themselves,
Mm-hmm.
right? As you work and you grow and you evolve, some things become less important,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then I think that it's just like a life cycle of evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
as time progresses and as time goes on, the things that were once heavy for us, as we grow and evolve and gain the necessary tools to learn how to carry these things, they get lighter, and then they naturally will become ineffective or not so much of in the front of our mind
Okay. Gotcha.
until something else triggers it. And by the time something else triggers it, we have built up such an emotional uh, tool case or tool chest that we know which tool to pull to
Okay.
process those emotions. So
Gotcha.
so in the meantime, to add extra weight on ourselves, saying that we have to cure this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I just did a podcast with my brother on a cruise ship, and he mentioned strength, and I'm like, I really don't like the word strength
Mm-hmm.
or being strong, because when you're processing something and you feel like you can't process it in a moment and you're not being strong, you
Mm-hmm.
automatically interpret that as being weak.
Yeah. Yeah.
And when you perceive yourself as being weak, then everything just gets heavier.
Right.
And if we can switch that to, I need to build my resilience, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm not resilient right now, I'm just not resilient.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a weakness. You know what I'm saying? So just framing it differently, and some would say wordplay, or some would say, you know what I mean? But I'm offering people a different perspective
Mm-hmm.
on how to get through extreme trauma.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so that's all I've been doing the last 3 years with you, is just offering you a different perspective. And it's
Yeah.
been working slowly but surely, right? Now, does everything land right then? No, but sometimes you have to go process it for a little while and then be like, okay, so that's probably what he meant. And then we'll have another conversation. So I think that is the thing, that is one of the things that keeps a lot of people stuck,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
is the myth that everything is curable.
Yeah. Yeah. And some things, it's like, when you said everyone, they'll say, "Oh, you're so strong." They see what I'm doing. "Oh, you're strong," and then I'm like, strong is I don't like that word, because then it puts me. Then I have to be this human, like the Incredible Hulk, in order to look like I'm able to live, or I can't become weak, which is a good, because weak rests. It's like
Yeah.
I stay in this mindset. "Oh, you're strong," and I'm like, "No, I'm not strong. I'm just, as you say, resilient." So it's frame of words to say, "Oh, not strong." You might be as strong, but I don't take it as a strong. I take the word strong, like you said, not in a good, positive way, because when I say see strong, I think of the Incredible Hulk, and I ain't got no strength near the Incredible Hulk. I can't tolerate
And
it.
so, and then from that aspect, understand that it's levels to everything, right? And so eventually you will have that amount of strength, right? We just have to keep growing, and we have to keep evolving, and we have to keep putting those tools in our emotional tool chest so that we can build the resilience up to be that strong. But it takes time, and no matter the source of the grief, we have to allow it to evolve through its own process on its own time and at its own pace, right? And so a lot of people put a timeline on that, and that is another form of pressure.
Yeah, yeah, and that's true, because I was suffering in silence for 20 plus years, and it's been 5, 6 years since I actually came out with my story of what happened to me. And so it's like someone had told me when my mom passed away, "Why, you should be over it." No, I should not be over it. And the fact that you said, I acknowledge what happened. I acknowledge the fact that my mom passed away, but and for me to transition to I accept it is not a negative thing, because accept death, I was afraid to accept it, because then that's saying I don't love her. That I'm not, I want her to be here if I accept it. But no, I acknowledge that she passed away, but I still love her the same. I'm able to move on. I'm able to live and not exist.
Yeah. And then you also got to remember that the grief only exists because the love was there first.
Mm-hmm.
That
Yep.
if the love wasn't there, the grief would not exist. So the grief is a reminder of how deeply you loved your mom, or anyone that you lose for that matter. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I believe that a lot of the things that we were taught by people who were using things that worked for them then in their situation or
Yeah.
their time. But everything in the world has evolved at this point. So why can't we as humans evolve and have a greater understanding, or develop our own understanding of these concepts,
Yeah.
right? So everything is just a concept.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have the right to develop however we see fit,
Mm-hmm.
whatever helps us smile again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
life is short.
Yeah.
Even 100 years, 100 years is short.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so we are responsible for being able to process everything that comes at us at a rapid pace,
Mm-hmm.
at a rapid
Right.
rate. But we get to slow it down to our
Yeah.
pace. And then we have to
Yeah.
let the grief or the pain operate in its own pace.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we are not like broken clocks that need to be fixed.
Okay. Yeah.
We are we are humans
Yeah.
that are going through a human experience. So stop trying to fix us.
Exactly. I don't need to fix it.
I don't need to be fixed. I need to be understood.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep.
And it's okay if I'm talking to someone who don't understand me.
Hmm.
It doesn't mean that my point of view is not valid,
Exactly.
because only you can tell you how you are feeling,
Mm-hmm.
which goes back to you have to be able to name it
Mm-hmm.
in order to like navigate it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you can't name the emotion, then it's very difficult to navigate it.
Right.
But once you're able to name it, then you can navigate it however you see fit that works best for you.
Right. Yeah.
And so I was listening to another therapist last night, and he said the most powerful thing that I've ever heard a therapist say. And he verified or validated the fact that therapy is not meant to fix anyone,
Mm-hmm.
it's to help you process your emotions in a way that's healthy and beneficial for you.
Right. Yeah.
And so I was like, that's spot on, because to try to fix me, I'm not broken.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? I am a
Yeah.
human and I'm just experiencing a human experience, and it's okay.
Yeah.
Like, you're supposed to be sad when you lose your mom. I'm supposed to be sad because I lost my daughter and my daughter was taken away from me in such a violent manner. And I'm supposed to be angry at the individual who did that.
Yeah.
And so I don't have to forgive him. Like, people tell me that you should forgive him because it's for you and not for him.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, I'm doing just fine not forgiving him.
Right. 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 Yeah.
And it baffles some people because they like, you hindering yourself. And I'm like, I find that hard to believe from someone who's, you're coming to me for advice and you saying that you like the way I move, but you saying it's hindering me at the same time. Like make that make sense.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh gosh, I have a happy emotion. I'm excited. Okay. The emotion, I'm excited. Why?
Okay.
Because this coming Friday, me and Shelby will be volunteering at a domestic violence homeless shelter I was at by and I'm excited. Why? Because one story, I to Georgia because I almost lost my life to my abuser, my ex-husband. And I'm so excited because I'm giving back. I can understand. I can give compassion. Everyone there, we can be our authentic self. We do not have to pretend because we all have been through the same thing. Different situations, some worse than mine, some less, not as bad. But the fact that we have one denominator, we are
Your phone is going out. Your phone is going out and in.
okay.
Your
How about now?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
And so I like to enhance that by saying that you're excited because you found a purpose.
Mm, yeah.
So once you develop a purpose again, you get that energy back, right? So now you developed a way to put your pain into a purpose.
Mm,
So that's the excitement.
okay. Okay. Okay.
That's the excitement. And you found your community.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you found your community and you found someone. So in this community, you're going to find some people that has information that they can download into you,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can download into other people, right? In your voice. And so two people can tell someone the same thing, and the second person said just a little differently, and it lands. So now you with that, you have found a purpose and you found your community. So now you don't feel alone.
Yes. Yes.
So that's the excitement, right? So, and I'm happy for you. Like, I congratulate you for being open and vulnerable enough to share your story, enough to put you in this position for people to now say, I like her.
Uh-huh.
I like her.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? So this is how the universe works, right? This is only our third live,
Right.
and we don't know who's seen it,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
We don't know if this played a part in them contacting you, or you had building the courage up because you've been talking about it, to put you in a position to now speak to other women who have been through something similar. So congratulate yourself. You know what I'm saying? And I am proud of you, right? And we'll keep this going and you'll keep growing. And so now the glow that you have is because you found a purpose and you found your community.
Yeah. And the young lady said that I was a mentor. A young lady lied, and I said that is lady, and she said, you know, that I was like, wow.
Try turning your phone down or something, because whenever you start talking loud.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. She said that it's probably the stand that I had on. She said that I was her mentor because she see how I operate. But this was so powerful. She's blind, but she
Okay.
sees how I operate. I have inspired her. And I was like, wow. And I was thinking about that. I said, wow, that means that she sensed my purpose. You know, she
Yeah.
hears the story, me talking to her. It's like, that's so powerful for someone who, and I'm trying to wrap my head around that statement, which is a powerful statement, but it shows me that, you know what, I found my voice. I found my voice, and I'm
Yes.
talking about what happened.
Yes.
Yeah,
And,
I found my
and
purpose.
so and so uh I think you have just unlocked the difference between being a victim
Mm-hmm.
and a victor.
Yes. Yes.
So now you're transitioning from the victim mind frame
Mm-hmm.
into a victorious mindset, because now you can see now you can see how you can benefit other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I wasn't trying to be a mentor. Like, okay.
But it just
But it's
happens.
the healing that I'm going through, the
It
way I
but
talk to
it
her.
it it just happens. And sometimes we're mentors to people who will never contact us. They
Mm-hmm.
just consume our content.
Mm-hmm.
You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And sometimes, like, it's difficult for some people to get out of bed, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so today they sat up.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday somebody didn't eat, and you're close to something like this. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And today they took a bite. You know what I mean? So
Right.
it's you just never know how you're affecting it and helping someone process what they're going through. So it's just our job to just keep going and just
Keep
keep
going.
doing and keep healing ourselves and keep evolving. And somebody keep calling. Uh, let me see something real quick.
Go ahead.
So, there I go.
Uh-huh.
So, um, yeah. So at the end of the day, like, it's just up to us to just keep evolving.
Yeah. And it's worth it. I mean,
It's
just
definitely worth it.
finding the purpose, man, I'm just like, first of all, I am so humble and thankful. And just to be in my community, it's like when you have your own community, you don't have to put on a front. You don't have to, you don't have to talk. You can do this if you want to talk, and you don't have to explain yourself. When you're in your true identity, your true
Yeah, most
community,
definitely.
you don't have to explain yourself. And you can be a vulnerable.
Well, here's the catch. You don't have to explain yourself, period.
Yeah.
You feel like you need to explain yourself to people.
Yeah. I'm working on
So,
that.
so the community just allowed you to unlock that within yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You don't have to explain your feelings. You feel what you feel when you feel it, and that's just that. Now, you name it to navigate it, and you navigate it however you see what's healthy is and what's best fit for you.
Right.
Now, people will come and they will give you some great advice, and then some people will come and try to project what they would do onto you, and if you don't do it exactly how they would do it,
Mm-hmm.
then they consider it wrong, and that's
Mm.
their problem. That's
Right.
their problem, right? So
Right.
I try to stay away from. I give people advice, and I offer them a different perspective, but I don't say if you don't listen to this, you're wrong or you'll never heal. Like
Right.
take what I say to you, and if it works for you, fine. I'm just explaining what works for me. And so once you switch to this is what's working for me,
Mm.
you know what I'm saying? So it may work for you or it may
It may
not, but
not.
I may share what works for me, and then you can take a little bit of this, and then a little bit of what somebody else tell you, and create your own little concoction of.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just happy that I was able to
Yeah.
share.
Yeah. And that's what that's when you have, I call it, it takes a village. It
Yes.
takes a village. It takes a village. And you can't do it on your own. It takes a village. And it has to be reciprocated, because
Yeah.
it takes a village, and a village that's in alignment and be in a, so yeah, it takes a village. So yeah.
Most most definitely. So uh that leads me to the next one, society's pressure to move on.
Ooh. Mm.
And so I'll ask you, how do you handle society's pressure when people in your old community was pressing you to move on? How did you handle that?
Um I I did not handle it in a good way. I would, this is how I used to handle it. I'm handling it better because I get therapy. But I used to isolate myself because
Okay.
I did not want to move on, and I did not want to hear. So I was stuck in isolation. I was stagnant in isolation. And that's how I handle it. But it wasn't healthy. It was unhealthy. But when I started with therapy, now it's like, okay, well, society says this, but this is my everything does not fit. One size does not fit all in
No,
society.
not at all.
And when I realized that I'm okay with not, I'm not, I don't, I don't fit under society standards, because now I know, and I'm loving myself, and I'm growing, that I'm a unique individual. And so society may say one thing, and I may say something different, and that's okay.
That
So to
that's
be
very
there.
much okay. So I'm gonna offer you a different perspective.
Hmm.
Whenever you come across someone who wants you to move on, to me that signals that my feelings are making them uncomfortable.
Right. Right.
So since they're uncomfortable, they want you to process your feelings at their pace,
Hmm.
right? But once I understood that my feelings are making them uncomfortable, I
Hmm.
gave that to them.
Right. Okay.
I gave that to them.
Hmm.
And just because I'm sad or just because I'm not grieving the way that they think I should grieve, that don't mean I'm grieving wrong. I'm actually grieving exactly how my body is wired to grieve,
Hmm.
right? So I wouldn't internalize that any longer.
Hmm.
From now on, when you come across someone who's asking you to move on, especially if they don't really know you, if they're not spending enough
Right.
time with you.
Yeah.
So if they're not spending enough time with you to even know you, that's another signal that that's their
That,
uncomfortability.
that's their
Right?
uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah, they're uncomfortable. Like they don't want to talk about it, and that's fine. Just say, we could talk about something else,
Right.
but don't try to tell me that I need to move on, because it's just telling me that my feelings are making you uncomfortable. It's just like when I walk in the room and I got my face frowned up and you intimidated by me. I'm not being intimidating. I may be
Mm-hmm.
thinking about something.
Mm-hmm.
You nervous and you scared. That makes you intimidated. That's
Mm-hmm.
not my problem. Now, if I come in a room barking and displaying like aggression, then I can say I'm
Mm-hmm.
intimidating.
Yeah,
But if
I had my boss, because I'm a happy person. Like, I give off the happy energy. I want to smile.
I,
Sometimes I don't have a moment, but she says, "Why are you always happy?" And I was like, "Well, it's great. Do you ever be sad?" And I'm like, "Yeah, when if I get sad, I use gratitude." But as I received her, the way she said it, I took it in a negative way. But that's her. That's on her.
that's her.
That is on
That,
her. And
that's
and
her.
what you
That
just
that is
said.
strictly so. Your emotions, happy or sad, can make other people uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that she's going through in her life
Mm,
that doesn't allow her to be happy.
mm, mm.
You know what I'm saying? So for her, I probably would have offered her a hug,
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
because if you're uncomfortable with me being happy, you're
Mm-hmm.
hurting.
Yeah.
So that's what emotional intelligence teaches us.
Mm-hmm.
Is not only being aware of our own emotions, is being able to read other people's emotions and then respond accordingly. So if someone
Mm-hmm.
is upset with you for being happy, they're
Mm-hmm.
hurting and they need they need
Mm-hmm.
they need a hug.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah.
You
I
know what I'm
never
saying?
thought about it that way.
And that's why you're talking to an emotional intelligence consultant,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
being emotionally intelligent is literally being able to navigate your own emotions and the emotions of other people that you come in contact with, being able to read the room
Mm-hmm.
and understanding that if I'm happy and you happy, we both just happy.
Right.
But if you upset because I'm smiling, you're hurting.
Right.
And I'm not gonna dim my light to make your life brighter. I'm gonna share my light with you.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
So she may be going through something that she's not comfortable with talking about.
Mm-hmm.
And the more we talk to people, we see that everybody going through something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Everybody you encounter today is fighting a silent battle that you know nothing about.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And your happiness can rub them the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
That's why there's so many black men getting into it with each other, because I could be walking down the street smiling, and then what you smiling at, player? Hey, I don't know what you got going on in your life, but
Right.
I'm not a part of it. But if you need to talk,
Mm-hmm.
we could talk like
Right.
man to man, and maybe I can help you process whatever you're going through.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And even in the airport, like people of different nationalities will now talk to me because I'm smiling and I always have on a shirt that says stress free, which is a great conversation starter.
Right. Right.
And so it's a lot of people hurting in a lot of different ways.
Mm-hmm.
So for your coworker, I would just offer a hug and then offer her like a olive branch, for a lack of a better term, and say, I'm here if you
Okay.
want to talk about something,
Okay.
and in confidentiality, you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
um, but I see that you're hurting,
Mm-hmm.
and if you can give her a heartfelt hug,
Mm-hmm.
she probably crying in your arms.
Mm,
There's a
yeah.
lot of people that cry on my t-shirt, and I just be
Mm-hmm.
like, it's cool. I'm used to it at this point. Tammy
Mm-hmm.
even used to it at this point. Like she like, you give some great hugs. So I could see how people release a tear every now and again.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, it's like people don't know how to process their emotions, and society tells them that they have to process it A, B, and C. and
Right.
don't give another option. And most people don't are not aware enough to know that I can create my own options.
Mm. Yes. Yes.
I don't have to go by society's options. I don't have to go by in like I can strictly operate based on how I feel. Now, I do have to be a good person at all times, and I
Mm-hmm.
can't go around causing more chaos and confusion because I'm confused right now.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, I can learn how to navigate these sad emotions in a way that is healthy and beneficial to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And like I say all the time, uh, you can cry without feeling weak.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And if I'm gonna cry, if I'm gonna take the time to cry, I'm gonna use these tears to clear my vision so I can see further and better. But and then E.T., the hip hop preacher, say, never cry to give up, cry to push forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we've already cried.
Yeah.
So we're not gonna give up.
Mm-hmm.
We gonna push forward. I'm gonna use these tears to clear my vision so I can see better and further.
Yeah. 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 Because if you don't cry, if it doesn't rain, you get to desert. I don't
Yeah.
want it so dry and callous that you know. So I'm learning to cry. I'm learning to be okay with crying. So, yeah. So
That's a
I
human
forgot to be. I forgot
that's a
how to cry.
human emotion.
I know. And the sad thing is, I have forgot. I've been dealing with and trying to keep it together. I have to be so strong. This is what society's saying, which now is like, never mind. That's not society. That I had to learn not to cry. I've taught myself not to cry. Now I need to unlearn that behavior.
So in the book, The Grief Cycle is Bullshit, I have a
Hmm.
chapter that says learn to laugh without feeling guilty. And I
Hmm.
have another chapter that says learn to cry without feeling weak.
Hmm.
Because when we experience things, it's hard to laugh again.
Hmm.
But laughter is good for the soul.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so is crying.
Yeah. It is. It is. And I'm working. I'm working on that. I know I have to cry. I think when I feel emotions and I feel like, okay, I can cry when I'm mad. I can cry when I'm frustrated. I can cry. I can cry when I'm laughing. People are like, why are you crying? It's so funny that I got tears. So I got the tears. But I need to learn how to cry when I'm emotional.
And, you know,
Yeah.
just practice, just when you feel sad, allow it to flow.
It's gonna feel phony. It's gonna
But
feel weird.
that's only in the beginning.
Okay.
Once you get through it 3 or 4 times, it'll feel natural again. So, uh, any questions for me?
First, I want to acknowledge Rickland. Lord, I can't. My eyes is messy.
Yeah, I
In
can't see it this time.
in fifth quarter. Hey, how are you? How are you doing? Welcome, Rick. How you doing? My question to you is for you, and I know is it the anniversary of when your daughter
It
was
was murdered 2 years ago,
two
April
years
29th.
ago?
Yes.
So, what would you tell to the person, to yourself, on that day from today?
What did I tell myself on April 29th?
Mm-hmm.
Because it just passed.
Right.
What did I tell myself?
What would you told
Well,
yourself when you first found out what happened?
trying to understand the question. So you're saying April 29th, 2023.
Mm-hmm.
What would today's self tell
The
me the day it happened?
Yeah.
Uh, the actual day it happened, as I'm standing at the yellow tape looking at my daughter's truck, I asked myself, how am I supposed to process this?
Mm-hmm.
I never said why. I never blamed God. I never uh, played victim
Mm-hmm.
in the situation,
Mm-hmm.
sort of say. Now, Am I extremely sad that my child is no longer here? Absolutely, right? But I have a podcast episode early on where I told my brother, because me and my brother do podcast episodes, that we're not exempt from life, right? So people get murdered every day, and it's a sad thing, but did she deserve it? No. Do I understand it? Absolutely not. But is this something that happens in life? Yes. And did I think I was exempt at first because I'm a good person or I developed to be a good person? Absolutely. But the reality of it is I'm not exempt because it happened. And now my only goal is to remain a good human. So if you go back to my earlier post, like when it happened, I always stated no women, no children, right? And I always stated that I never said the assailant's name online. I've never spoke about him. I never mentioned his family because he has family out in Oakland as well, right? And I never wanted anything to happen to and these are the typical things that people from the streets normally resort to.
Right.
And I'm like, no, that's not the mission.
Right.
So I think I would tell myself the same thing I've been telling myself the last 2 years. One person is responsible. He's in custody. Justice will be served. And it's just my job to be a really good human and to teach. So more importantly than me, I have a 25-year-old son. That's, if he was free, like he's been in jail the whole time, I would worry about him because he has a 25-year-old mentality, right? So my goal has always been, now is my ultimate test for me to show my son how to handle extreme adversity.
That's powerful.
So it is natural for everybody, you included. Everybody has the ability to cause bodily harm. It is my responsibility now to ensure that my child knows that we can handle extreme adversity and thrive afterwards.
Yes.
So that has been my mission from day one. That is a real thing that I've been dealing with. And not only my son, I got nieces and nephews and little cousins that's running amok, and keeping everybody on a positive, enlightening path has not only been challenging because it's hard to get individuals to listen when they're emotional.
Right. Yeah.
But because everybody knows the capabilities of the way I grew up, and they like, well, if he's saying it, then we must follow his lead. Because it's easy so as a leader, I often ask people who call themselves leaders, like, where are you leading your group to?
Ooh, that's a
So,
good question.
and it's a lot of people that love to lead people to chaos and confusion. Me and my brother are not that type. And this has just been an extreme test to see if I'm really who I say I am, as far as being a good human. And so that's what I've been telling myself. That's what I've always told myself. That's what I'll continue to tell myself, that it's my job to be a good human.
Yeah, I like that. That's good. That's powerful. And one more question. Where can people find your podcast, and where can people purchase your book?
Okay, so I just shot another podcast episode on a cruise ship. I'm gonna
Okay.
get back to releasing the podcast, but I'm Darren Bedford on
Okay.
everything. Like I changed everything to Darren
Oh,
Bedford,
you did?
like
Okay.
Instagram, Facebook,
Okay.
YouTube, TikTok.
Okay.
I'm Darren Bedford everywhere, and the book can be found on stressfreeclothing.com in the book section. But in about maybe 60 days, when DarrenBedford.com becomes up and running, everything could be over on DarrenBedford.com. So I
Okay.
got Darren Bedford LLC. So everything is my name. So my
Okay.
name will be synonymous with building resilience
Okay.
eventually,
Okay.
because I want to help people develop and build their resilience.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody has a small piece of resilience already, like naturally ingrained in them, because everybody has overcame something. They just didn't know what to call it.
Mm-hmm. Good. Yay.
So now I'm helping people develop and build their resilience, and I'm going back into the high schools, and
Okay.
I'm developing something for parents. I'm developing something for team leaders and
Uh-huh.
or in corporations,
Okay.
because it is such a wide range of things that need to be spoken about, and I just want to be one of the people that's doing it. If I
Mm-hmm.
can become the one person that is talking about
Uh-huh.
it, or the go-to guy, that's great. But I just want to be a powerhouse in this resilience building space.
All right. I'm proud of you. Thank you. You have, I want to say, as always, you've come a long way, and I'm so proud of you. So,
Because
congratulations.
people will never know that I don't like talking on
I know.
camera. People now, like, since I've been doing it for a couple of years now,
Mhm.
but yeah,
You found
I
your purpose.
used to prefer not to.
Yeah, but you found your purpose. So the world
Yeah,
needs
but I
you.
found my purpose,
Yes, the
and
world needs
and I,
you.
and I have people like you that can. "Oh, we gotta go live. We gotta go
Now you
live."
know when the next step is going live on Facebook, because we can go through our computer on Facebook. So we got to do live on Facebook. I used to go live all the time on Facebook, like for
I'm
2 or 3
down for that.
years.
We can alternate. We can
Okay,
alternate. I'm fine with
okay,
that.
okay,
I
okay.
think my
Cool.
computer do that.
Okay, okay. You don't have to be on your phone on Facebook, but here you can. Me and my son was trying to figure it out. He was like, "Mom, you got to download this program and download that program." Like, son, he said, "You know what? You inspired me to write a book because there's older people like yourself who do not know what they're doing." I said, "Yeah, exactly." I was like, "So you need to write that book."
Yeah.
Yeah. So, with that being said, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank
You're
you.
welcome.
And next time in 2 weeks, in a couple of weeks, we'll do Facebook and see how that works out because we got people on both platforms who need to
We,
hear the message.
we do. So, in closing, let's talk about how we can make peace with an unhealed heart.
Mm. How to make peace,
With an
acknowledge,
unhealed,
acknowledge it,
no, to make peace with an unhealed heart.
acknowledge my heart.
No,
No?
self
Okay. So
compassion,
how?
self compassion.
Ooh, yeah.
Start giving yourself grace
Okay.
and understanding that grief is lifelong work.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Okay.
and
Self-compassion.
and you've already experienced small pockets of peace,
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
but you've experienced small pockets of peace, but you disregarded them and you didn't accept them.
Yes, you're right.
So
Okay.
now, when the small pockets of peace hit you, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna take them in and you're gonna allow them to settle and make space. And eventually, those small pockets of peace will grow into larger pockets of peace, and you'll find yourself going from 10 minutes of peace to an hour of peace
Mm-hmm.
to a day of peace. So stop fighting the peace that's naturally evolving in your life.
Okay. Ooh,
So
that's powerful.
we started off this session
Mm-hmm.
with you having some peace when
Mm-hmm.
when you realize that you found your purpose, in your community,
Right.
right? Don't disregard that. Don't not acknowledge
Okay.
that. Acknowledge that as the beginning of me starting to find a true sense of peace
Okay.
and allowing my heart to heal. Now, I'm not saying that your heart gonna heal 100%. I'm just saying let life naturally do what it's doing and evolve in you.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna
Now,
start
just
living and not existing.
start living, but even that is like a cliche statement.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're going to start saying it, start actually
Yeah.
feeling it. So these cliche statements that we hear all the time, we say them because they sound cool. Start actually experiencing what you're saying.
Yeah. And I do want to experience it, and that's what you just told me. Peace.
Stop just saying stuff because it sounds cool. Start actually slowing down and allowing yourself to actually experience what you're saying.
Okay.
Because life is naturally evolving for you, and you have to allow it to do its job and do what it's doing. So you can get to the point where you don't have to say, I want to start living and stop existing, because you'll really be living. So it's like when you meet a dude and he tell you he got X, Y, and Z, and you're like, why you say all that? Like, if you really got this, it will just naturally show.
Right.
You don't have to tell me you got a $10,000 Rolex on. I see it's a Rolex.
Right.
And by you telling me it's 10,000, it might be fake because they start off at 17, and you probably bought that from the middle of the mall. But that's another story.
Right.
But you don't have to say what you're actually living and experiencing. The more you feel like you have to announce it, it's more than likely a chance that you're not actually doing it.
Yes. Ouch. Ouch and amen. Look, this is hard. Like, oh, you want me to what? Oh, yeah, I need to start doing that. But now you calling me out. Okay, I ain't mad at you. That's what a true friend does.
So you can even go back to when you was helping the lady at your job who hasn't been able to speak to nobody but you. Start stacking them small wins and acknowledging the fact that you are healing. I don't think we'll ever be 100% healed. The job is to continue to be in a healing phase.
Right.
And the more that we allow ourselves to heal, the less will affect us.
Okay.
And it is never probably going to be 100%. But who knows? But if I have to announce that I'm 100%, chances are I'm not 100%.
Yes.
My
You're
actions will show.
Yes.
Naturally where I'm at.
Yes.
So,
they would. I am receiving all of this.
So
Just like
even
I
though
told you, you're gonna talk on live, and you're like, yeah, okay. I'm receiving this. I'm receiving it. I'm receiving it. So thank you.
this is what you asked for.
Oh my gosh.
You asked for live sessions. So we going live and
It is good.
we talking
Yeah.
about it, right?
Yeah.
And just understand, because the wound in your heart might never close, but it don't mean that the healing and the happiness can't begin to flourish. You know what I'm saying? So, like they say, two things can be true at the same time, and you could be in extreme pain 10 minutes ago, and then something happens that it bring you extreme joy. Allow for both of those to take space whenever they can.
Okay.
And that's where the saying, learn to laugh without feeling guilty and learn to cry without feeling weak, stems from. In the beginning, when I lost my child or when my child was taken from me, it was very difficult for me to smile or laugh because I had the thought of how can I be happy when my child is no longer here? When in fact, my child would want me to be this. I was her superhero because of who I was. So to change who I was because she's no longer here would be blaming her for me not being her superhero still.
Yeah.
And I'm still her superhero. No matter whether she's here physically or not, I'm still her superhero.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you have to get to a point where you become your own superhero, right?
Right.
And you have to start allowing those pockets of peace to actually take root and begin to grow. And eventually the peace, the healing, the happiness tree will be the same size as your grief tree. And then eventually your happy, healing, and peace tree will grow and overshadow what you've had to experience. Because every day that you grow through that experience and it doesn't happen again, it's a little bit more safety. It's a little bit more comfort.
Yeah.
And now that you found your tribe and you redefined your purpose, it's gonna be easier.
Yeah. Yep.
Take that with you. Take that with you.
I am. I'm excited. I'm ready. Yes. So, yes. Thank you. So, we will be on Facebook next time?
Yeah, we can do Facebook next time.
Okay,
That's fine.
okay. All right. So, I will see you next time, 2 weeks. You want to do or just reach out to me?
No, 2 weeks is fine. So 2 weeks, I'm looking at my calendar now.
Okay.
So 2 weeks will be May 19th.
Yep. That's on a Monday, right?
Yeah.
I don't. My calendar.
We gonna always do Mondays.
Okay. Cool. All right.
Because Mondays I'm at the house and I'm just here.
Okay. That works for me.
So, all right. So,
see you.
This is Darren Bedford, your emotional intelligence and resilience coach.
And this is.
Go ahead. Anything I said today resonated with you, feel free to reach out to me, DM me. We can have a conversation. If you happen to be a team leader or a leader of an organization and you need some emotional resilience or emotional intelligence brought to your team, I do keynote speeches and half-day trainings. Reach out to me. As always, have a blessed and stress-free day because you definitely deserve it. And I love you. Peace.
Right. And sending you peace and reach out to Darren because if he can help me, he sure enough can help you. Y'all see the struggle, right? Y'all see the struggle and the growth.
All right. I'll talk to you later.
I love you. Have a good one. All right. Bye-bye.